Thanks everyone for checking in to another free play episode. This time we have Poppin' Music on the Wii. And what exactly is Poppin' Music? Well, the game is part of Konami's Bemani line of games, so it's in the same music genre as Dance Dance Revolution and Guitar Freaks. Guitar Freaks became Guitar Hero in America, made by a different company, but it's the same idea. So what makes Poppin' Music stand out from the rest of the Bemani games? Let's go over a bit of the history of Poppin' Music so you understand more where I'm getting at with this free play. Poppin' Music follows the same formula as a lot of other rhythm games, in that there's notes that fall from the top of the screen to the bottom, and you as the player has to hit a certain colored button in rhythm with the notes to play music on screen. It's all pretty similar. I mean, if you played Guitar Hero, or Dance Dance Revolution, or Rock Band, you know what I'm talking about. It's the same formula. What makes Poppin' Music stand out from the rest of the Bemani games is that it uses 9 circular buttons instead of 4 dance arrows like DDR, or a guitar, or microphone to sing, whatever you choose. So it's very unique. You're not playing an instrument and you're not dancing. You're really just creating music virtually in this game. There's been several releases of the game in arcades and on consoles only in Japan, but Poppin' Music for the Wii here is the first and only game to be released in America. Great, right? Now we finally have a Poppin' Music to call our own. Yeah, no, that's not what it is. Poppin' Music for the Wii is really more of an introductory beginner's game as opposed to the full-fledged Poppin' Music phenomenon, if you will, in Japan. This game takes a lot away from the original experience and tries to incorporate new players into a complicated game. But in so doing, it makes the game feel totally unfamiliar to any past game in the series. So the first thing you'll notice when you start the game is that it has a very childlike atmosphere. There's kind of bunny rabbits and cat ears all over the place. Everything is very bright. And that's not too far off of what Poppin' Music is, so that's fine. But the real difference comes in the form of the music and the gameplay. Now, as with most North American Konami games, they stray away from a lot of the standard Japanese house music in favor of licensed tracks, and Poppin' Music has a fair selection of tracks ranging from artists like Jackson 5 and the Ramones, but it also does feature some original music, and some of these songs are the master versions of the track, so it's actually the band playing the song. So Motorhead's Ace of Spades is actually Motorhead singing, but there's some, like the Jackson 5 songs, aren't always sung by the Jackson 5, they're usually covers. Which is nowadays kind of something that I thought we had gotten rid of, but apparently Konami couldn't get those rights, so whatever. So you got the music, that's kind of a mixed bag. But the real crux of this game, and the thing that a lot of players are going to take away from it as being very poor, are the controls. Gone is the 9-button control pad that the series is known for, and in its place is the Wii Remote and Nunchuck combo. So instead of having the 9 buttons, you only actually have 5 to work with. You use the Wii Remote and Nunchuck to hit all of the buttons. The Wii Remote handles the right, down, and middle buttons, while the Nunchuck handles the left, down, and middle buttons. Now the 2 downs are represented separately by the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck, so you have 2 different downs, and the middle can be hit by either Wii Remote or Nunchuck. It doesn't matter, it's whatever you prefer. So immediately this game feels totally different, and immediately it doesn't feel anything like Poppin' Music. That is my biggest complaint with the game. It just doesn't have that feel that it should have. I understand where Konami was coming from in making this. They were trying to make a game that would appeal to a lot of gamers, but they alienate the entire crowd that would have loved to see this game come to the North American shore. There's not even any form of incorporating this controller or a different scheme into the game. It's just this one standard setting, which is a big letdown. And to make matters worse, the controls are not that good. There's a lot of room for error when you hit the notes. As you wiggle the Wii Remote and Nunchuck around, you are inevitably going to hit the wrong buttons. You're not penalized for hitting the wrong buttons, but your timing for hitting the buttons you actually want will be off. But, like I said, since you're not penalized, you can kind of waggle all over the place and just hit whatever, and you're likely going to hit the note that you need, so you're really eliminating the entire sort of music-based keeping in rhythm gameplay of the game. So instead of keeping in rhythm, you can just move your controller all over the place, and you'll likely pass the song. You're not going to get the best score, but you can pass it. What am I doing? Just playing Poppin' Music. So you combine these two things, the somewhat sloppy controls and the bad translation from the regular game to this version, and you've got a game that really should probably be avoided by almost anyone that is looking for a game that will be similar to Japan's Poppin' Music. That being said, I thought this game would be more fun to play with a younger gamer in multiplayer as opposed to another hardcore gamer. Someone that doesn't have that much skill in rhythm games might actually find this game to be fun, and it could actually turn them on to playing more quote-unquote hardcore games like Rock Band or Guitar Hero. To complement this, there's a nice suite of multiplayer options that you can play through. There's the standard 2-player battle where you go against high scores, but there's also some neat ones where up to 4 players can compete against one another. There's also a mode where 4 players can play together to try to play cooperatively to get a high score, which is actually pretty fun. Getting a group of people together with all the Wii Remotes and Nunchucks, if you have them, can be quite rewarding. Considering I got the game for less than $5, I can't really argue with a night's worth of entertainment for that cheap of a price. Poppin' Music for the Wii actually does have an online store to download extra songs, but there's only about 32 extra songs to download and they're $1 each. None of them are licensed songs. I have no idea who they are. You can't sample them to hear what they sound like, so you kind of have to buy them blindly. But having the option there is actually pretty nice if you want more, but ultimately you're going to be done with the game after the first time you play through it because there's really no reason to go back unless you want to get high scores. I don't really see why you'd actually want to do that. I mean, once you play the song and you unlock the challenge mode, which is easily the harder way to play the game, you're going to be done with the game because there's no reason to go back and play again. And that's Poppin' Music for the Wii. If you're a Beimani fan looking for this game in America and you see this and think it might be the way to go, it's really not. You need to stay away. If you're someone that sees the game like I did and thought that it was cheap and might be fun for a night or two's worth of gameplay, then yeah, it's right up your alley. But other than that, the game is a sad disappointment of what could have been a great addition into the rhythm library in America. Instead, we have this childlike and sort of dumbed-down version of a very, very popular game.
We're